The Twins whoop up on the Royals. It's a blowout victory. Brandon's excited about Cole Sands on the whiteboard there, and Twins fans are excited for a second win in a row. Let's break it all down on today's Locked On Twins postcast.
You are Locked On Twins postcast, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, your team every day.
And welcome to another edition of our Locked On Twins postcast. Today is Tuesday, August 16th. I'm the host of Locked On Twins, Nash Walker, here with writer and reporter at Access Twins, Mr. Brandon Warren. If you haven't tried Built Bar Puffs yet, you're depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. And guess what? There's a new flavor. Ready, delicious, indulgent cookie dough covered in chocolate. That's right. Built has done it again. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKEDON15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCKEDON15. Brandon, Twins, big night tonight. A big night for Sonny Gray, a big night for the offense, and that's just a really nice win.
16 hits, and none of them from Team MVP Sandy Leon. So, sad
you're doing
story.
Something right. You know you're doing something right.
Yeah, you're living right. But 6 for 18 with runners in scoring position. We're going to harp on that the more that they hadn't taken advantage of it before, starting to look a lot better now. And yeah, only Leon and Kepler going hitless. Just a great offensive night. And the thing we haven't seen much of this season was them tacking on runs late. Now, to be fair, it wasn't like they were facing the firemen of this Royals bullpen. It was, some guys that are a little further down the depth chart. But that just has not been the Twins' forte this season to score late in games and to make a 3-0 game a much more comfortable one where Cole Sands can come in and put out a meager fire. That's a good feeling right now with where the Twins are at. Now, let's see. Cleveland lost. We'll see if they can hold off the White Sox. We don't know about that one yet.
Mavi says Sonny is a number 2 because he doesn't have the consistency, but my guy, when he's on, he's an ace, just dialing up that front door 2-seam on demand. Loved it. Brandon, let's talk about a video that surfaced during the game, an interview of Sonny Gray with Joe Schmidt, our friend, and he didn't seem very pleased about it. Joe Schmidt asked Sonny Gray, has this been a good fit? And Sonny kind of hesitates. I mean, you can see this on Twitter, but he hesitates and he says it's been different, not a bad different, but I want to pitch deeper in games. And then I wouldn't call it a snarky response at the end, but kind of sharp at the end with Joe Schmidt there. What was your take on that?
I mean, he said, "What do you think, Joe?" or something like that. He threw it back to Joe, which being on that side of interchanges for a better part of a decade now, I can tell you it's not usually great to have them say your name back to you and repeat back pretty much what you said to them or ask you about what you said. So I don't know that it's necessarily that frustration is mounting as much as it is like, I think he wants to throw deeper into games. And I think if he were, let's say, healthier this season, the Twins would probably have considered that. He did have a stretch where he wasn't all that great. I mean, he was still pretty decent. And again, too, my theory I keep coming back to is the Twins are paper thin at the top of their rotation, and if they're going to make noise late into the season and knock on wood into October, they can't have one of Sonny Gray or Joe Ryan down. Now, Tyler Mahle in the mix helps that depth, but again, they were so thin up top that there was just no way they could risk Sonny Gray getting hurt again for, let's see, he's been on the IL twice now?
Yep. Randy Dobnak rehab assignment today down for the FCL Twins. Sinker at 92-93, threw 1 inning, and this has been a lost season for Dob. He didn't throw very much last year. He did pitch in the majors, but what do you think about Randy Dobnak, Brandon? And if he's able to come back, he's going to join the Saints, it sounds like, next week. Could he be an option for the Twins down the stretch?
The more I think about it, people ask me who the September call-ups are going to be, and they ask me about, young guys who are pitching well down in St. Paul or even Wichita, if we really want to dig deep. Simeon Woods, Richardson, those kinds of guys. It sounds like he was pretty good tonight too. But it's going to come down to, I think the Twins get, 2 spaces, and if all things go well, they'll probably be filled by Kenta Maeda and then either probably Giovanni Moran or Randy Dobnak.
Or Ober.
Yeah, or Bailey Ober, Josh Winder. I mean, there's not going to be that much intrigue with this roster in September, which I missed that part because I did like seeing guys like Doug Bernier come up in a lost season, get a little shine, get to play a little bit, your Brian Dinkelmans and whatnot. But it's going to take a lot of the intrigue out of the Twins September because it's going to be the guys that we listed and probably just those guys. So, yeah, I think Randy, I still want to see him in a shorter role, but it just didn't seem like that was going to work for him last year. Who knows if he can tick up, easy for me to say, with the velocity a little bit, with the heavy sinker he's got. I mean, that's a bullpen weapon if he can't be a number 5 starter, which I can't say he is completely out of the running for that either.
Noah Backus, Caleb Thielbar is him. Man, I mean, this can't go unnoticed because the Twins traded away Rogers, relying on Thielbar to be their lone lefty out of the pen, coming into this year. And he did have a 6-something ERA not that long ago, but he's been nails for this team. And it's another nod to underlying numbers because you heard all year, like, look at his FIP, look at his strike. Everything looks good except for the ERA. And he's been good.
A lot of red on that StatCast page.
Yep.
And for comparison, a 0.8 Fangraphs WAR for Thielbar coming into tonight, for Taylor Rogers a 1.1. So all things considered, not an insanely big drop-off. With that said, do you know what Rogers' ERA was coming into tonight?
5.
It's going to shock you. 5 on the nose.
Wow, 5.
5 on the nose. 2.8 FIP. So, I mean, obviously there's been some bad luck in there.
And he's been doing that for years, it feels like.
Let me read you his last 3 batting average on balls in play. 400 in the abbreviated 2020, 358 last year, 345 right now. So if fans are watching us and don't know what an acceptable range is, usually for a pitcher, it's 280 to 320, just like a hitter, 290 to 310, depending on, what the normal numbers look like in baseball in a given year. So anytime a guy's over 320 for a hitter, it usually means it's a big contact guy or a superstar. For a pitcher, it means they just have been unlucky. And it's not because he's given up homers. It's not because he's got guys on base. It's just, for whatever reason, the balls that he throws find holes. And, tough spot to be in. But looks like, Caleb Thielbar has not been that much of a drop-off.
Better luck now. You can find better luck at betonline.net. It's the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. That's BetOnline. It's where the game starts. Let's look ahead. That's a series victory for the Twins, clinched, and this feels like one of those where you got to take full advantage of this opportunity. This Royals lineup is young, and I'm not saying they're bad, but they're young. And this is a chance for the Twins to sweep with Tyler Mahle going against Daniel Lynch Wednesday afternoon.
I mean, they struck out 15 times tonight, had 5 hits and 1 walk. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I should have brought the broom over here. The broom's in the other room. So, it's time. And, we said this was put up or shut up time. They're putting up right now. And then it's Texas coming into town, right? New manager. Don't know yet if Tyler Duffield joined the team at some point, but that would be interesting too. It's time. The Twins have been doing exactly what they needed to do the last 2 nights, but don't stop now. It's so easy for the idea of, okay, the series is won, coast into the last one, and then pick things up again. And I'm not saying big leaguers have that mentality necessarily, but just don't let your foot off the gas. I'm curious. Do you think Sandy Leon catches a day game after a night game? That's
no, I don't.
That's a lot to ask for the guy.
I don't think he will against a lefty. I think it'll be Sanchez
Gary.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Mr. Gary. I am Gary. But that is a good win for the Twins. And adding Mahle, I think it's a whole nother dimension because if you don't have Mahle, it's probably Smeltzer tomorrow. And you're just looking at that matchup differently than you would before. Right now they have Mahle, and you feel much different going into it than you did before because they have more depth.
Who in your estimation is this team's won? Is there enough to differentiate Mahle and Gray for you? Because
no,
especially after tonight, I can't give Gray or Mahle the benefit of the doubt over Gray with how good Gray was tonight. So
I think they're both frontline starters, and
yep.
I think Ryan's a mid rotation starter.
Well, and what fans don't realize is if you look at the top 30 in WAR in every given year for pitchers, it's not like the days of yore where it was like Verlander and Kershaw and Scherzer. Like there's a lot of different names that you wouldn't expect to see. Like you'll see a Mahle in there and you'll see a Sonny Gray in there if they get enough innings to be on the qualifier list. And so, yeah, I love the fit with Mally. I hope he's a Twin for long term. I'd start talking to him soon. Maybe, I don't know if they'll give him 5 years, but if you can get him for 4 years, 70 million, 4 years, 68, maybe similar to what the Red Sox got Nate Eovaldi for. I got to think about it, because you got to build around somebody. And based on the comments today, I'm not certain it's going to be Sonny Gray.
I was just going to say, like, I hope they're not. I'm sure they are. I wonder tonight, like, how much discussion is there? I'm sure this is just a thing in baseball, but how much discussion do you think there is, like, amongst the rotation members? And, like, if there's a divide with the bullpen there, because the pen, they want to pitch, but the starters want to pitch. Do you think there's, like, constant conversation happening there?
Yeah, there's like bumper cars or something. What I always wanted to see, though, was a starter come out and say, like, when someone says, "Oh, the bullpen lost the win for you," I want to hear a starting pitcher say, "Starters don't win games. Teams win games. Did we get the W? If I give you 6 innings of 2-run ball, my bullpen gives up 2 runs, and we win it in the 9th. It doesn't matter if that win goes to me, the guy who gave up the 2 runs because we scored right after. It does not matter. A team W always takes precedent." And I'm not a kind of guy who says that guys have to be team players. I just, I don't like looking with the camera, panning over to Sonny Gray after someone gives up his lead, and it's like, "Oh, they lost it for him. He doesn't get a win." If the team wins, it doesn't matter who gets the dash next to them.
It's always funny because I think as a starter, like, if I was only pitching every 5 days, I would be pretty frustrated if I got pulled early. So I get it.
Sure,
I get it. I get both sides of the equation there. And hopefully the Sox lose tonight. Hopefully the Twins pick up a game on both of their foes in the division. They certainly picked up a game on Kansas City. Go ahead.
Maybe the last time we'll see Zach Greinke. Who knows?
Oh, could be the last time. I know this.
Well, there's still a team.
They have 6 more.
Six more. So decent chance they'll face Greinke one more time. But if they don't, and he retires, what a career.
Twins win. Brandon, thank you. Thanks everybody for joining us. We will be back for hopefully another Twins win. Brandon, thanks. Follow us, Locked On Sports Minnesota. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever.